Welcome back, listeners. You're on episode 60, Innovate or Imitate, the hydroponics industry. Going to cause a bit of trouble, this one, I think.
Definitely.
What do you think?
Definitely. So we've got a very touchy subject here. So we've got Innovate or Imitate with myself, Thomas.
And myself, Stephen. Stay tuned and we will tell people the real news. See you in a bit. So, innovation and imitation. Innovation. People who come up with products first are original and have put thought into what they produce. Imitators. People that copy other products for better or for worse. I would say on most technologies it's probably for the worst. But we do have some examples of some better imitator products, don't we?
Yeah, well, we've since we picked this subject, Stephen, we've been chuckling to ourselves, haven't we? Because there's a lot of companies who probably think, oh, watch out, NPK, they're out to get it, gunners down here. What this podcast's really about is, as we say, innovate or imitate. But neither of them, in my opinion, is right or, well, is wrong. Yeah. They're both right. Mm-hmm. Because without innovate or imitate, we would never end up with as good a product as we have today. Yeah. Because people have different ideas and different takes on what's good and what's not good. And they see a product and then maybe think, oh, well, that's got a flaw in it, or that could be better by. So if all we did was innovate, we'd have lots of original products, but we'd be stuck with Bisto gravy. We'd have nothing else. Yeah. We'd be stuck with Budweiser as a beer. Not saying these guys are the first, but you just have Budweiser beer. You just have one type of gravy, one type of this, one type of that. Make for a really boring life, wouldn't it? Yeah. So basically, what we're trying to say to everyone whose products we do mention on the show today is that we are having a discussion about how we see these products and how they've been evolved over time. Yeah. And basically, we're going to try and call out some arguments as well.
Yeah, put to bed some arguments, because there are some arguments over who was first and who was last and who innovated, who imitated. We've got a few facts that we've researched over the last 10 days.
And a few quotes as well, haven't we? From manufacturers, distributors, all to throw in their 50 pence worth in to say who was first, who wasn't, and he copied me and she said this and he done that. So we're going to kick up a bit of dust today. Yeah. And if you don't like it, tough. Yeah, well, we have give you all 10 days. I've contacted everyone that's been mentioned, and I've give you 10 days to get in touch with me. Some people did, some people didn't. Yeah. The people that did, they get to throw in their 10 pence worth. Yeah, they have their 10 pence worth, don't they? And the people who didn't, well, you've trusted us and left it up to us, so thank you. Fucking hell. And just before we start as well, this is based on 10 days worth of research. I'm not saying it's 100% factual. It is the truth, nothing but the truth. And all it's just some facts that we have collated together. Yeah. And we are very happy for you to contact us. If you feel you've been hard done to, contact us, because I imagine there will be Innovate or Imitate Part 2 in a few months' time. Hopefully they will. Hopefully a lot of people who've been sitting here think, hang on, well, there was this product, or I know Billy who said this about that, let's hear it. We did give you the chances, debate. So hopefully there will be a part 2 to this with a lot of other opinions and facts and stuff. Yeah, let's get right into it. Okay. We're going to hit in with a hard debate on Honor versus ONA. Ooh, wow. Now, you all should really know what Honor and ONA are. Odour neutralising agents. Blocks and gels and sprays that will help neutralise bad smells. Now, we're going to distinguish the two, because there is Honor, produced by Easy Grow, and ONA, produced by Hydrogarden. Yeah, that's correct. So when we say Honor, we are on about the Honor blocks produced by Easy Grow, and when we say ONA, we are on about the ONA blocks produced by Hydrogarden, just to set
make sure we're crystal clear on that part. So a bit of history on Honor. So Honor was founded by a Vancouver firefighter who became interested in eliminating nasty odours after major fires. And he built a relationship with a chemist who had 25 years in his industry. So it's safe, it works, and it's good value for money on that Honor product. Now, then we have ONA, which is not to be confused with Honor. ONA from Hydro Garden states that it started in Australia in the 80s, spread to Canada, and then to the UK in the mid-1990s. Now, all this information is off their website, so I've just taken it directly from them, quoted them from there.
Okay.
But from the website, you can't actually say who innovated or who imitated, who's right and who's wrong. So I got in touch with Easy Grow and Hydro Garden for details. Easy Grow supplied us with details about Honor and the dates of incorporation. And we found that Honor was first registered online on the search engines on the 21st of October 2001. So what that means is it was probably founded a good few months before that, but the first time that Google spotted Honor was the 21st of October 2001. Then we contacted Hydro Garden on a couple of occasions, but unfortunately they didn't have time for us and didn't get a reply from their marketing department. So I didn't have any facts or figures regarding ONA, so I went and done my own research. ONA was first found online on the 13th of September 2014. So from these simple facts and figures, it looks like Honor versus ONA, Honor innovated and ONA imitated.
It looks like that to me as well, Stephen. And also, we've got some facts from Easy Grow, but we never got a reply from Hydro Garden.
Yeah.
So in all fairness, we're going to give that title to
Easy Grow.
Easy Grow. Here's
the question though. Is imitation a bad thing, and are imitated products always bad? So in this case, it would be unfair of me and you to say Honor is the better product compared to ONA.
No.
Because we've never used ONA.
And we haven't done a scientific test.
Yeah, we couldn't say.
No.
We have used Honor for many, many years, and so have our customers. And there's a lot of other gels and blocks and fresheners that people bring out and people try them. But to me, you might think differently, Thomas. Everyone always seems to go back to Honor, don't they?
We've used quite a number in the shop, haven't we? We went through a few different brands, and we've always returned back to Honor, not through our personal choice, just through the customer's request, basically. So
we bring a lot of other gels and blocks and all sorts to the shop.
Eau de Brise, Alien had a few.
Smell Away's quite good. They're holding their own in the shop. But people still come in and they say, "Have you got the Honor blocks?"
Yeah.
So we're not saying Honor or ONA. We're not saying who's better and who's worse, but I'm 99% certain Honor from Easy Grow has got the title as the innovative smell reducing agent,
and Hydro Garden has the title as the
imitator.
Yeah. Okay. So
that's
that's
I think we've
the first set.
Yeah, that's the first set. We'll put that one to bed. If you have any qualms with what we have said, get in touch and we will do it in part 2. Next, Hypervan versus Alibaba and the 40 Thieves.
Doesn't Alibaba just copy everything though?
Yeah. Essentially, I've basically put them on the spreadsheet here to slate them.
See, but I'm confused here. Is Alibaba a person who makes a product?
I believe it to be. I might be corrected by my editor, Rick. A website.
Yeah,
it's like an eBay. Yeah,
it's like an eBay. So I don't know whether that's actually viable that we can use this information.
Well, when I say versus Alibaba, let me go into a little bit more depth.
Okay.
Now, the Hyperfan is a very good quality fan, sold by HID, which is Hydro Industry Direct, for a number of years.
Yeah.
Very powerful, quiet and minimal pressure loss, according to Hydromag's fan test. And according to a lot of people as well, the Hyperfan's got a good rep in the industry.
And it's a very stylish, modern looking piece
looks
of
nice, doesn't
as
it?
well. The colour of it, it's in azure blue.
Azure blue?
Yeah, I'll call it azure blue.
That's nice.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's right. It sounds good anyway. But yeah, it looks really nice and sleek.
Yeah, Hydromag thought it was a very good fan as well. And the people that I speak to also think it's a very good fan. It's not a fan that we've personally used, but just because we haven't used it doesn't mean it's not a great product.
Yeah.
Now, it came to light, HID made me aware of a copy, exactly identical.
Same colour.
White. So yeah,
because I haven't actually seen this. This was part of the information and research you got from HID.
Yeah, so I should say the structure is absolutely identical. The colour's different. It's white.
Yeah.
So you, apart from the colour, you cannot tell these two pieces apart. But then you look under the hood. Very different animal under the hood. Now, a lot of people don't take these things apart and start looking under what the wiring's like and all, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I've done that before in the past when I was younger.
Yeah.
I ended up with loads of parts everywhere and couldn't get it back together.
I had to go and buy a new fan.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to harp on too much about this one. The imitation product is £5 cheaper than the Hyperfan, but the difference in quality is huge. And difference in quality has been proven. So HID, Hydro Industry Direct, have done a video. They basically put the two fans together and saw which one outcompeted it. So if you go onto Facebook, type in Hydro Industry Direct, like their page as well while you're there, and then look at the video, which is pretty close to the top of the timeline. The video shows you how the Hyperfan absolutely obliterates the copy from Alibaba.
Okay, well, what I want to know is, how do we know Alibaba started bringing this fan out after Hyperfan? What evidence have we got to support?
So, no evidence to hand.
How do we know Alibaba didn't bring it out first?
They could have. I very much doubt it.
Have we spoke to Alibaba?
No.
No, okay.
I've spoke to one of his 40 thieves, though.
Yeah.
He robbed me. You're very correct in saying we haven't got hard evidence to say which was right and which one was first and last, but I will put my neck on the line and say I am 99% certain that the Hyperfan was out before this Alibaba copy.
Okay. Well, that was just brought to our attention by HID, so we thought we'd give it a mention for those guys, because we know they're hating on Alibaba for producing these fans anyway. So we brought that one up, and we can also probably re-look at that with further investigation for episode 2.
Of course we can,
yeah.
And just a word about Alibaba. If you're after cheap, nasty crap, then that's the website for you. If you're a cheap, nasty crap kind of person, then Alibaba, you go to alibaba.com. If you're the type of person that actually gives a crap about what it is you're doing, then you will not even look at Alibaba. And what I have to say for people that buy products off Alibaba is you get everything you deserve when the product fails. And that's all I'll say about that.
So be warned.
So we'll put that one to bed. Hyperfan versus Alibaba. Hyperfan absolutely smashed it. Innovative product. Very good quality product. That's the innovator. Alibaba is, in 99% of circumstances, is always imitating other products.
And it's a worse quality imitation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Moving on.
Plug and grow.
And grow timers, yeah. Now, we struggled to find any definitive proof on whether the plug and grow timer was the first of its kind with regard to single timers and so on and so forth. But it was definitely up there with plug and grow as a brand. Now, the date I've got for using my way back when machine, plug and grow was established or was found on the internet on April 27th, 2008. That was the first time that Google could find plug and grow. So they've been around for a while, this company.
Yeah.
Again, no hard and fast facts about when the plug and grow timer came out, but it's a good timer. So since April 27th, 2008, when plug and grow was established on Google, there's been a lot of timers brought out since then. Are they better? Is the plug and grow timer better than anything else on the market as a single plug-in timer? I say very hard to say without testing them each individually, without getting really good feedback. But Thomas, we had a discussion about this yesterday, didn't we? And you got some interesting views on individual timers.
Individual timers. So we've got plug and grow. We've got the all famous Grassland.
Grassland, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the most famous out of single timers. We have Grassland, which is probably the most popular known.
Yeah.
Plug and grow. We've got some Loomy timers out. I've seen some other Omega,
yeah. There's a lot has come to market, hasn't there, as single timers. See,
I'm constantly, shall I say, annoyed with these timers, because
constantly in debate as well.
Yeah, you know, they're a timer, but then we've constantly got issues regarding what this timer can do. Now, to me, a timer means it's a simple timer. It can switch simple things on and off, i.e. fans and heaters and stuff, water pumps and water heaters and stuff like that. But then we come to this all-famous problem or issue regarding these single-pin timers, which is using them to control lighting, high-powered lighting, HID and HPS lighting. And with timers, you have a contactor. Now, these don't have a contactor or much of a contactor in it. So we constantly, as a shop, we see a number of these timers come back. There was two come back yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's constantly, I'm only plugging one 600 watt light in. We get told by the companies that these are adequate to plug two 600 watt lights in. It also states on the back of the timer that
it's got a 1200 watt capacity,
or was
13 amp, 1300 watts.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, they still blow all of the time. They're an absolute nightmare for a shop owner. They really are. And for myself personally, what I believe in this is basically it's a grower who is skimping on a budget. But not only is he skimping on a budget, he's skimping on probably one of the most important parts of his budget. Now, you can have budget on your pots and budget on your cocoa and budget on your feed, but to put budget on how you're going to manage electricity in your grow room and high-powered electricity, that just blows my brain off, to be honest. Why somebody would choose a product that costs maybe between £8 and £14 and risk the life, to be honest.
Risk the life, if they were doing any photoperiodic sensitive plants, they could send their plants that are 6 weeks into flower right back into veg if it trips and it stays constantly on.
To be honest, that every person who uses one of these single timers, and I'm sorry, the companies who are going to listen to this, I'm sorry if you get offended by this, but these products aren't good enough. They're not. They're crap. They're not safe. Yes, they do work sometimes, and yes, I do have a customer that comes in and goes, I've had one and it's worked for 2 years. Wow, what they do? Let's give them a medal, shall we? Wow, it should work, but that's a one in very few, because majority, they blow.
They come back and they've got problems.
If anybody asks me, do not use a single pin timer to control your high-powered lighting. Buy a contactor timer. Don't take my word for it. Go and buy a contactor timer from a different shop. I'm not trying to get extra money out of you. I'm trying to teach you something about safety. At the end of the day, if your house burnt down, whilst you were using a single pin timer, you would be devastated.
It costs you a lot more than £15 then.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And you can buy a 4-light timer starting from a contactor timer and Power Stars, pretty good pieces.
Well, I was going to bring up Power Stars actually, because the good timers, let's mention the Graslin and the Plug and Grows, they are, in my opinion, the two best single timers. But what you should be doing is what was the contact you mentioned just then?
Power Star.
Power Star. So you got a Power Star which you can get 2 ways, 3 ways, and 4-way Power Stars. So if you're thinking, oh well, I've only got one light, I only need one timer, why take the risk? You can get a 2-way Power Star where there's 2 plugs into the wall. One plugs into the Plug and Grow timer or the Graslin timer, and one goes directly into the wall. That is your contactor. The Power Star is the contactor, and then you buy the Plug and Grow as the timer. That we've never had a problem with. Never had a return when people use that.
And what you're going to find there, it makes quite common sense, is basically the contactor takes the load of the powers igniting and shutting on and shutting off. So when you hear it like that large, the thump, that thump goes into the contactor. That absorbs that power surge, good word, and then relays it nice and smoothly and simply into the timer to stop the timer blowing. So that's my opinion on them timers as a whole. But we're talking about Innovate or Imitate.
Very, very hard to find out who's innovative and who's imitated. Looking on the history of the internet, I couldn't find conclusive facts. All I know is that
I know Graslin has been around a long time.
So could we put our necks on the block and say...
I'd put my neck on the block.
It's probable that Graslin was one of, if not the...
Because also what you're seeing as well with Graslin, are that successful as a company, are used in the majority of contactor timers. So you've seen a hardwired into the system, and these are supplied all the time, and components are supplied by Grassland. You don't see any supplied by Plug and Grow or any of the other names that we might have mentioned. So I'm going to give that title to Grassland. Yeah.
Okay. Good stuff. The next one,
which is
CFLs versus CFLs. Now, this is an interesting one. It's the middle of the podcast, about halfway through, and I want to draw attention to some things with regards to CFLs. But first, let's start with a bit of history. Now, according to our sources, Innovate brought the CFL to market way back when. Then, according to our sources, Innovate changed the components or the manufacturing process, which reduced the performance of the CFL. And this prompted Plug and Grow to produce their CFL. So they were admittedly imitators, which wasn't a bad thing because they saw a gap in the market where a product had decreased in its effectiveness and brought out a better CFL light.
Where does T5 come into this?
Not something that we looked into, but T5 is probably for part 2. There's lots of things ready for part 2.
I know there's to everyone who's listening, there's millions of products. The industry's flooded. Yeah, we've just highlighted some of the funny little arguments, just for argument's sake, to be honest with you. But yeah, if, as I say, there is millions of products that are being imitated or innovated or whatever. So if you do know any, or any more information on any that we are mentioning, please give us a call.
Well, when a couple of days ago I asked some questions actually to the international forums, the IAGLA, the Hydroponics forum, and some of the others that a lot of us frequent on Facebook. And I asked the guys in the US what were imitated products, what were innovative products, and then it didn't half kick off a bit of a debate there. So everyone started arguing. So even though we're talking mostly about the UK products that we know about, but please send us the emails, get in touch with us if you know or you're part of a product that was innovative and was copied. So if there are any innovative products or you're part of an innovative product or you made an imitation product that you're happy with and you think's better than the original, let us know because we will do a US Innovate or Imitate. Back to the CFLs.
Yeah.
So Plug and Grow brought out the CFL and it did, according to a few people I've spoke to, perform a lot better. It was one of the best performing CFLs, along with a couple of other companies such as Highlight Horticulture. They also brought out a good performing CFL. Now, here's the problem I've had. The guy that from Plug and Grow said to me, do yourself a favour, get yourself a wattage meter, which I already had, because we use it to test our digital ballast and magnetic ballast, but never ever thought to test CFLs. Just never
popped into our...
Yeah. It's 300 watts. 300 watts. So we did a bit of testing.
Ooh.
And I've got the picture evidence. I did it this morning. Bought a brand new... I actually went out and bought a brand new meter just in case there was any faults with the old one. And this is the data that I got.
You're all bloody liars, the lot of yous.
Exactly. That's it in a nutshell. So when you say you have a 300 watt CFL, there are some companies, some of the better companies, that are a shade off 300 watts. You're looking at about 260, 270 watts. And as something else I discovered this morning was how the power rating, so apparently, I'm not going to go into detail, but there's a power rating between 0 and 1, 1 being super good, 0 being really bad, and you can actually go to minus when the product sends power back to the fucking electricity. It's weird. But the good quality ones, such as Highlight CFL, we had them to hand because that's what we stock with regards to CFLs. And I imagine some of the other CFLs on the market as well, they had a power rating of 0.89, good mark. They were just shy of 300 watts. They were like 260, 270 watts. But still, it's not great. The 125 watts from the good companies, they were about 100 watts. So not far off, but still, it's not 125 watts. Yeah. But then we get to the very interesting test. There's some companies that write 300 watts in the box. How much would you say that these drew?
Well, I know they slack off a bit because I've seen that quite often because we're constantly doing tests on little bits and pieces, and we never seem to be getting what we're told we're getting.
So would you be shocked when I told you that in the test of a 300 watt CFL, that it actually only drew 175 watts from the wall.
That's shocking. So basically, that just another 25 watts less, and it was drawing half the power that it states.
Yeah, just over 50%. That's a fucking disgrace.
Yeah, that is disgraceful.
Who do you think you are? Because obviously, I reckon you know what your CFLs draw from the wall, and you think that we're not going to find out.
Well, we found out.
And it's up to Thomas whether you know the company that we tested, don't you?
Yeah. Amiga, come on, people. What are you doing? Your CFLs are not cutting it here, are they? 175 watts, and the stating at 300 watts, you know. And
that was after I allowed them 10 minutes to warm up.
So here's a top tip for you, Amiga. You can start selling us your 300 watts. For 125 watts prices, and we'll just say to the customers, it's an upgrade. Tell them it's an upgraded 125. You're getting an extra 25 watts. How about that? That sounds like a deal.
Sounds like a plan.
Everyone's happy. I'll be happy. Customers will be happy.
And you know,
Amiga wouldn't be happy though.
No. Well, even if it's a 300 watt bulb, so let's say you change all the packaging to 200 watts. Yeah. So you just dropped 100 watts. Your bulb still isn't a 200 watt bulb.
There's other ones that are doing it as well, though, isn't there? It's not just Amiga.
There will be.
Yeah.
I didn't get to test them.
We haven't tested them all. We are going to test them all for part 2. So
I will be testing them.
If you feel like I've just picked on you there, my friend,
there will definitely be others that can perform the same.
Yeah.
And we will name and shame them
in the future.
Part 2.
Don't worry.
But to sort of conclude this, a bit of a sad story in a way. Plug and Grow had their very well-performing CFL compared to the rest of the market, and because all this cheap shit came out, they couldn't compete with the prices. Obviously, they were cheaper because they were a fucking cheaper bulb. So at the time, Plug and Grow pulled out of the CFL market, which was a shame because they were producing a good CFL. But I did a quick check this morning, and it seems on Plug and Grow's website that they are selling CFLs again. 125 watts, 150 watts, 200 watts, and 300 watts. I think there might be a 250
Well, there's also a lot of
there.
other CFLs on the market. We've got the Sun Blasters from Nutriculture, which we haven't tested on the meter, which we're going to do, because there's a lot to test. Yeah. So episode 2 will probably be in a good few months. Yeah. Probably closer into the summer when we've got a lot more time on our hands. So we've got the Sun Blaster from Nutriculture, getting good feedback from the customers.
Comes on top of the Extreme Propagator.
Yeah.
Got the little grooves.
Which has just been tweaked as well, so it allows it to just simply sit on top. Yeah. We've got the T5s, which have...
Phenomenal.
Been out since I was knee-high to a beanstalk. And so we need to test that, because that's one of my favourite ones.
We also have copies of the T5 from Growth Technology, because the T5 that you're on about is from Growth Technology, the Lightwave T5. Yeah. That's the one that's been out for a long time, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not too sure.
But
then we've also got an imitation from...
Lumi.
Yeah, Lumi.
Yeah, recently just brought out.
Quite good as well, to be honest. I like it. We've actually got some in the shop as well.
To start testing.
Essentially had one a while back. I don't know whether they still done that or they discontinued it or what. That was not too good. I remember I got one, and just the fittings with the bulbs and stuff weren't too good.
A bit tricky.
But we're going to go into that at another episode, because I think this Imitate or Innovate, it'd probably be a lifelong episode for NPK.
Completely, that we go back and revisit.
Yeah, and check out new products, what's coming up in the future, and any hot gossip on who's copying who.
Yeah. So for this CFL versus CFL, Innovate or Imitate, imitations were better for a while, and then imitations of the imitations led to a decrease in quality, so it's a tricky one.
Yeah.
I've got some news that because I've brought to attention some of the power performance of these CFLs, we should, hopefully, fingers crossed, see an improvement by some manufacturers in CFLs. When that happens, I will let you know straight away, and we can start promoting those CFLs. Mm-hmm. Right. Here's a good one. The Battle of the 6040s. Ooh. The 6040 Cocoa Clay Pebble Mixers. So... we believe Gold Label was the first major company to produce a 60-40 mix in the UK. It might be different in the US, but we're on the UK today. Very good quality cocoa and pebbles, worked very well for people, especially those in the flood and drain systems, and they were innovators in this field. how long ago was it? Just over a year ago.
Yeah, there was a bit of a...
Yeah, it was the Hydromag test, wasn't it?
Yeah, Hydromag done a test with how much media was actually... quantity was actually in the bag.
Yeah.
And basically what they done is, I think they got 5 10-litre pots, or 2 20-litre pots and a 10-litre pot, or something like that, and basically filled them with the cocoa. And what they found, the 60-40, what they found was the 10-litre pot was empty at the... One 10-litre pot was empty at the end, so there was only around 43 litres.
39 litres was the minimum amount that was found. Yeah.
I think it ranged up to like 43 being the maximum.
Yeah. We confirmed that test, didn't we?
Yeah, we done it in the shop also.
A little bit sad because obviously we do a little bit of a mathematical equation. Somebody comes in and says, I have 50 20-litre pots. And then you do the calculation, 50 times 20 gives you the amount of litres that they need. You divide that by 50, because the bags say they have 50 litres in them, and you can tell the customer how much cocoa they need to buy. Top tip, in case you didn't use that one.
Yeah, it's all grow shops, if you're unaware of that.
So when customers are coming back to me saying, you don't know what you're talking about, I need another fucking 2 bags here. And I go, I worked it out on the calculator, it was right, that's really strange. And then it happened again and again, and I'm thinking... I'm shit at maths.
Yeah, we look like Wallies, or we don't know what we're talking about, or there's something going wrong here.
Yeah, so...
Lo and behold...
The Hydromag test came out. We thought, that's interesting. We're going to do that test again and see if it is really true. And lo and behold, it was really true. You were getting roughly, on average, 40 litres out of a supposedly 50-litre bag. So... After a few shops dropped the line to protest against the brand, Dutch Pro and CANNA brought out their 60-40s.
Yeah.
So this is a great example of where imitation filled a gap in the field.
Yeah.
Because people were just fed up with being ripped off from having 40 litres to 50 litres. CANNA's 60-40 is doing very well, and Dutch Pro similarly has now got a good market share of this 60-40 medium. The imitators, in this instance, have performed very well, and as a result, it's one up to the imitators.
Yeah.
So obviously, I imagine you all thought Innovate, whoever was the innovator was the winner.
Yeah.
Not the case.
No, it's not the case, because as we said at the beginning of this podcast, you know, to innovate or to imitate, they're equally as important as one another.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the people who are being imitated won't agree to that. Me included. If we get imitated, I don't tend to shine towards it in a particular fond manner. But also, it keeps us at the pinnacle of where we need to be, and that keeps us innovating, and it keeps the others imitating. So all you listening out there who wants to imitate us, don't worry, we'll keep innovating so you can keep imitating.
So there we go, one up to, in the battle of the 60-40s, it's 1-0 to the imitators.
Yeah, well done.
Moving on. You have to excuse me as well, I've got a bit of a blocked up nose.
I think I will mention, I do believe Gold Label have actually resolved the issue.
Super, you know what, I apologise actually for not mentioning that. They have resolved the situation.
Yeah.
I believe you do now get 50 litres in a 50-litre bag of 60-40, or they might say 45 litres on the bag, but if it says 45, you're now getting 45 litres. So whether they knowingly did it, whether it was a mistake due to
apparently the answer error. It was something to do with the
English litres, EN litres or something.
EN litres, that's something well too complicated for my understanding, but something to do with the English laws of measurement and their laws of measurement. Yeah. However, apparently it's being resolved. We will check this out and let you know for the second episode of Imitate or Innovate.
Yeah, good point. Thanks for reminding me there, Thomas. Just want to apologise. My blocked up nose might be coming through a bit nasally on the podcast today. Oh, and happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, thanks, Steve.
Yeah. Oh, I was saying it to the listeners, not to you.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Well, that's why I brought you these bunch of roses.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
What hydroponic setup are you going to put them in?
Ooh, I'm going to think I might put them in a DWC. Well, I actually grew them in a multi-flow system. It's
funny you should mention the multi-flow. It's like we planned that. The battle of the systems. Multi-flow versus IWS. I like the little tones that we're adding to the voices here as well.
Sound like something off Star Wars.
We're like flamboyant now, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going for it now.
The original flood and drain system, ? Ooh. Now, there's plenty of hydroponic systems out
now.
Now
We've got to be careful here because we're talking about Multiflow, which is HANNA, our good friends.
Yeah.
IWS, which is
DGS,
which are also our friends.
Good.
But
And
everybody knows that we are good friends with HANNA.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to point out here right now is that we're not biased at all. We're going to state some facts before he's gone, oh, well, they're going to say Multiflow. No, we're going to give you some good facts that we've gathered and collected.
Well, there's plenty of systems out now, but obviously this is Innovate versus Imitate.
Yeah.
So we believe the Multiflow to be the innovative product in this case, because originally the Multiflow was founded in America and brought over to the UK, promoted by Highlight Horticulture, and is the famous terracotta flood and drain system we know today as the V1, which it was originally, later became the V2, which is the digital version, and soon to be the V3, the all singing, all dancing, digital and analog, and flood and drain, and deep horticulture. It's going to be, hopefully, technically, the dog's bollocks system, but
I think it makes
we'll
you
let you know.
as well.
It does, that would be novel, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be good.
The IWS came to market a year or so later. Now, which one works best?
Now, is this true?
Well, you can listen. I've made notes, and you can disagree with them all you like, Thomas.
You know, because what we've got to look at here is 12-month period. You know, 12 months is very short for them to, the pair of them, to argue it out and say, no, I was around before you.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was around before you.
Yeah.
So, are we going to get this one right?
Well, if I'm going to put my neck on the line, and from the sources that we've spoke to, we believe, or I believe anyway, that Multiflow was out first, and IWS was the, I don't know what the correct word is, I don't want to say brainchild, but IWS was the twin, the younger sibling of the Multiflow.
Well, one thing that I can tell you about both of them is they are both very, very successful.
I was going to say, now this is a bias coming out, I was going to say that I personally prefer the Multiflow, but it's purely because that's the one I've used.
I do, if you ask me, personally, Multiflow. But if I be honest, I've
very few encounters with the IWS,
other than what we've sold the systems. But personally, I think I've only grown in the IWS once. I've used the V2 Multiflow. I haven't used the V1. In all honesty, I've used the V2 because it's got the digital pad and it allowed the different day changes. So that's why I liked it, because as I've said, I used it with the tobacco lab and I used it for a long period of time. So
a little bit of bias from us because it's the one that we've used in the majority of instances. So,
but one thing I do know is IWS is a very successful system. A lot of
shops are using it.
Up and
down the UK.
A lot of customers that I know are using IWS. So, you know,
this one's down to personal preference. I'd say.
Yeah.
There's going to be pros and cons. There's going to be good bits and bad bits about both systems. So it's down to you. Which one have you been using? Do you like it? Do you feel like there's time for a change? Are you going to swap over?
Well, you've also got the other fellas in there trying to.
Yes, you have. And I will say,
Alien.
They are imitators.
Yeah.
100% absolutely imitated the Multiflow and the IWS.
But they're also innovating as well, because they're using bigger bore piping, first seen in the industry. I think it was like a 32mm piping with a flood and drain pump of, I think it was 3,000 litres an hour.
We did a video, didn't we?
Yeah, we done a video, and the amount of time that it takes to flood and drain this system, I think it was 4 minutes
4 minutes, yeah.
For a 48-pot system or something like that, was it?
The one that our video showed a 6-pot system, a complete flood and drain cycle in 4 minutes.
Yeah, that was right. It was a 6-pot
but the 48-pot systems might not be far off that, because obviously they have a bigger a pump. So the video was on the 6-pot, very quick flood and drain.
Then we've also seen, we've got one on display in the store, the Exodus. Haven't used it yet.
Yeah, innovative though, because of the white casing which reflects heat, so helps keep your water cooler.
But it has dripper rings?
Yeah, they have dripper rings as well. Yeah, so it's on display just to our left outside the studio.
Yeah, and that's is that a solid fixed pipe, that is it, or flexible pipe?
It's a fixed pipe.
Yeah, fixed pipe.
Yeah.
So that's what we are seeing. You know, some imitations are directly copied. However, we have imitation/innovation.
Yeah.
We have the improvement or altercation of a similar product. which we've done plenty of times ourselves.
We have.
The Rummy Bubbler.
Yeah.
Which is just a product that you basically call it an innovative product, because everyone who uses it and comes by it tends
constantly to make improvements.
Innovate it a bit more.
Yeah.
So
it's a constantly evolving system, that one.
Yeah.
As we're seeing with the flood drain, constantly evolving as well.
Yeah.
This V3 system, can't wait to try it out, because that's going to raise the bar even higher for sure.
So with IWS, you've got a basic, you've got a pro system. It's in the black pots. Yeah. The multi-flow's in the terracotta pots. Both very successful systems.
Yeah. So there's no right or wrong here, but we do believe in the battle of the systems, multi-flow was the innovator and IWS was the imitator. But not a bad thing.
No.
Next. Now, I think this is up for hot debate, this one.
Yeah, this is an old school one. This, I think, also with multi-flow and IWS, that was a bit of an old school. That's going to be argued about what we've just said.
Yeah.
I know that. I'm going to laugh. So hopefully somebody's going to tap me on the shoulder and say, "Hey, Thomas, hey, we was out first." And I'll just chuckle. But also, now we've got Homebox versus BudBox.
An oldie.
Heritage products that have been around in the industry a long time, and a lot of people have copied on these heritage products.
Absolutely. Well, I would say 95% of tents they've looked at Homebox and BudBox and gone their ways and created tents.
I've used both tents as well from back in the day.
Yeah, we'll stay from the very beginning. Both very, very good tents compared to the shit that's on the market these days. Very, very good tents. So we're going to put this one not to bed, because it'll probably rage on for years
forever.
and years, but our little 2 pence worth.
This will turn into a civil war in 100 years' time.
Who's the innovator and who's the imitator? Now, went back to me snapshots, I went back to me web history. Homebox was snapshotted by Google on the 25th of May 2003. That's the first time that Google saw Homebox on the internet. And BudBox was snapshotted on the 6th of June in 2005, but on their website they're quoted as having formed in September 2004. So from this, if BudBox have said that they were formed in September 2004 and Homebox was snapshotted on the 25th of May 2003, from that evidence it seems to me that Homebox is the innovative product. They were out a good year before the BudBox.
And it's fair to say Google's a pretty reliable source.
I'd say so, yeah. Again, we're never ever infallible. If BudBox want to argue their case, get in touch and be part of part 2.
Or if you all just want to come and have a Royal Rumble, we'll set up a wrestling ring, throw you all in, celebrity death match sort of thing.
You're obsessed with these Royal Rumbles recently, aren't you?
I used to love them when I was a kid.
I did.
Well, you never know. We will see. Please contact us if you want to throttle the life out of me and Stephen, for that matter, or any other
pile driver us off the top rope for you. Feel free. I've written at the end as well, Homebox wins the innovative product, but does this say anything about quality? Now, again, at the moment this is just down to personal opinion. I'd say it's very hard to construct a proper scientific test to see whether plants perform better in the BudBox or the Homebox, because there's going to be that little smaller difference and statistical relevance.
Many variables as well.
Hundreds of variables.
Plants will have to be grown exactly the same
Exactly same conditions. Exactly same tent, which isn't a problem, but clones, same conditions, same lighting, same amount of feed. Very hard to do, and at the end of the day, the results are going to be negligible. So it'd be very hard to say which
in our opinion,
which is the better tent. Now, it comes down to light tightness, how thick. We've talked about the denier of tents in the past, haven't we? How thick they are. Then you've got zipper quality, durability and pole strength. They are things that could be tested.
And we talked about PAR, photoactive radiation and other elements.
Which is, I believe, Homebox, PAR Plus, they were the people that brought out the PAR line tents.
And also contaminating fumes from poor quality line tents, from heating up and stuff like that.
So, both are very good tents.
Very good.
So we are not going to comment on which one is better and which one is worse, or if they are both the same. But what I will say, compared to tents on the market these days, these are absolutely top quality tents, along with your Green Cubes, your Secret Gardens, your Mammoths, the Gorilla tents, Lighthouse, Bloom Rooms. These tents are good quality tents. The ones I've mentioned, there's some varying degrees of quality. Some are more budget. We
have actually done a podcast on tents.
Yeah. So is that telling me to shut up, is it?
No, just for anyone who wants to listen into
a bit more in depth.
Yeah, where we've talked about all them little pointers that we mentioned. We have done podcasting on tents and which one's the better quality and what not to buy, and viewed our opinions on cheap tents.
Yeah, versus good quality tents. Yeah. So hopefully we've put Homebox versus BudBox to bed.
So the winner of that was
Homebox. Yeah. Now, this is one that managed to sneak in late last night.
Ooh, a late sneaker. You've got to watch out, because late sneakers are normally people who tend to just get their opinion in.
Yeah. Before anyone else can get it.
Yeah. Oh, it's done before the deadline. So it depends on who this person is. Who? What are we talking about?
So we're talking about Gavita versus.
Oh,
Gavita versus the world.
The world.
That's what it seems.
Theo versus the world. God help the world. I'm off.
And I'm about to have my brain exploded. Ooh. Now, it is, to be honest, that's a really good title, like Gavita versus the world, because if you visit some of the forums, the IAGLA is where a lot of debate takes place. Sometimes a lot of childish debate. Some people bickering. Not a lot of evidence to back up.
You'll always get facts. One divvy who throws in a comment with no brain.
Well, it doesn't seem to be just one. It seems to be quite a few people bickering, and my light's bigger than yours, and my double-ended will better than your double-ended, and let's not get too intimate here on Valentine's Day, eh? So, I speak to Theo last night, who told me this anecdote about Gavitas. A friend walks into a US grow shop and asks if they have any Gavitas. Yes, sir, right at the end over there. There were 3 fixtures hanging there, EPAP and 2 Chinese Gavita copies.
EPAP is EPAP-alone.
Yeah. When he made a remark that they were not Gavitas, the answer was that they are the same type. So Theo then said that Gavita are the Hoovers and the Luxaflex of the lighting industry. He believes that a lot of people have imitated the Gavita standard. This is going to cause a lot of trouble. There's a lot of people that disagree with this. This is just Gavita's word that we're getting in. I personally don't have evidence to back up the lighting fiasco that's going on at the moment. All I can say is that Gavita is in every single shop. Every single shop knows about Gavita in the US and the UK. I'd say 90% of shops have probably sold a Gavita. In the big industrial grows over in the US, I know of 100, 200, 300 light Gavita setups. In Holland, I'm pretty sure there's not far off 1,000 light Gavita setup in the indoor greenhouses. That says a lot by itself. If your commercial tulip growers and rose growers are using Gavitas, then they've obviously done the research and found Gavita to be the best.
What I'm going to say about this subject, I'm going to tread carefully.
Yeah, tread lightly.
Very lightly, because I don't want to open myself up to attack too much.
Yeah.
By Theo. If I'm right, Gavita, the number 1 copies are EPAP-alone.
Yeah.
And is the one called Lux?
Nanolux.
Is it made by Nanolux?
Well, Nanolux do a very similar all-in-one open-hooded feature. The reason why I mentioned it,
I've seen it at the Barcelona show. We went to, I don't think it was last year, I think it was the year before.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah, I briefly got showed it. If it was right, I've also seen it displayed in an AutoPot setup that they were giving away. They had a large 3 metre square tent set up. That was at Barcelona, that as well, and I think it was worth around £10,000, and they give it away, and that was an imitation as well. In all fairness, I don't know who was out first.
No,
I haven't done my research, and I couldn't state. One thing I can tell you though is that Gavita is second to none on research and development and studying and basically getting their facts right and they've got their facts right in every way that I don't even attempt to question it. I've had some chats with Theo, but now I'm just lost in
the technicality of it all.
Yeah, the technicality. So I just leave that to Stephen, because he actually enjoys all of that deep scientific talk.
I did. I took a test the other day, actually. Am I a geek or a nerd? Turns out I'm a nerd.
Ooh.
A nerd, because geeks like comics and computer games and don't travel much out the house, whereas nerds just read lots of books and are into science. So it turns out I'm a nerd. Oh.
So that's probably why you've took on to this subject.
Yeah, I love it. There's going to be people questioning. Imagine we'll have a lot of the guys in the US questioning what we're saying. That's absolutely fine. I'd really like to hear feedback with regard to the subject.
Now, Gavita also, it's digital lighting.
Yeah, the whole range is digital.
Right, okay. Because obviously you've got budget lighting setups and whatnot. They don't come into Gavita's category, really. That's why we're not mentioning them.
We're not mentioning the other lighting brands, because Gavita's this is the premiership of lighting. Yeah. Along with we've said that NanoLux and EPAP are imitating
Be fair
Gavita.
To mention Lumitech in there as well.
Lumitech as well, top quality brands. When we talk about EPAP and NanoLux, it's because of the all-in-one hooded, double-ended fixtures.
That's the thing with Gavita, and EPAP and the other one. I'm still unsure who that's by exactly.
Yeah.
But anyway, as you said, these are all in one sort of base unit.
Little category at the top of the game.
Very sleekly designed with some amazing features and special additions to them and variables you can use, specifically with Gavita, removable hoods. Now, I met Theo probably about 3 years ago. 3 years ago. I remember having I think it was an hour-long talk with him regarding Gavita's shade alone.
Yeah.
How the chrome actually, he uses a lot better word. How it degrades.
Yeah.
Over a 12-month period or whatnot, and how you can simply, by pressing two little easy-to-use clips, detach the hood out, and you can replace the hood, and it had unique features. Since them talks, I've watched Gavita excel through daisy chain and the lights together and running them off.
Different hoods for different people's different growing areas.
Yeah,
different hoods.
And also running them off an electrical
controller, EC1 and the EC2.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, EC1 and EC2, like electrical timer that can control up to 80 lamps, was it?
EC1 does 40, the EC2 does up to 80.
Up to 80. So I've watched Gavita basically, to me, snowball to the top of the ladder in lighting. That's my personal opinion. Some
people will say, that you've reminded me what I wanted to say before. Some people are going to say, yeah, but that's because they spend hundreds of thousands of pounds on marketing. That's all well and good, but let me take your jacket for example. You have got a top of the range Polar Expedition coat on right now, top of the range, and the coat I've got on is very nice and it does me very well. But it costs, let's say my coat costs £50, yours cost a considerable amount more.
Yeah.
Now, if I spent £100,000 promoting my jacket to be the best compared to your jacket, do you think that'd make that much of a difference? People would eventually cotton on and go, actually no, the coat that Thomas has gone on is a lot better.
And when you go to the Arctic, it's going to be fine.
Yeah, I'm not going to die.
Yeah.
Maybe not an extreme example as that with lighting, but you get me point. Even if they spent £1 billion on marketing, eventually the industrial tulip growers, the industrial rose growers, who it's their time and it's their profession, it's what they feed the families with, they're going to get onto the fact that Gavita's a shit and they're going to swap them out. But hey, guess what? That hasn't happened yet, and they've been doing it for a long time. So that's my opinion. Now, Theo also said, let me just write that off. Theo also said there's lots of Chinese manufacturers using the Gavita name and slogans in their advertisements, and he sent the Dutch mafia out to get them. No, he didn't say that. I just made that up. But it just shows you about that's one step further than imitation. That's really bad. And Alibaba's notorious as well. We'll go back to Alibaba for the cheap copies and shit equipment. Be careful. Get that in again. So yeah, be very, very careful. Theo did say that he does actually have to send out several emails a day warning people to take Gavita's name off certain things and to stop using the slogans, so on and so forth. So busy time for Theo at the moment, because I believe a lot of people are trying to copy his ideas. He did say, this is to put a finish on the Gavita versus the world, Innovate or Imitate, it is undisputed that Gavita introduced the double-ended bulb, the complete fixtures and the small open reflectors to the hydro market, specifically in the USA. Lots of others have imitated, changing very small features to try to be original, but ultimately falling short of the standards set by Gavita. Others try a similar shape but get the spread wrong. And Theo, quote Theo here when he says, just look at the bracket design of most fixtures to see where they fit on this dirt path of innovation versus imitation. I ended that quote with Theo's quote was, just look at the bracket design of most fixtures, end quote. I said to see where they fit on this dirt path of innovation versus imitation. Yeah, I've got to get quotes right, otherwise they'll tell me off. Yeah. Say, I didn't say that. Yeah. I didn't mention dirt path.
Yeah.
So that puts that to bed. Hopefully we've opened up a bit of debate there. Probably quite a lot of debate.
Have any questions regarding any of that, don't ask me, ask Theo, because he'll tell you a lot better than I can.
Visit the IAGLA on Facebook. I'm probably going to get this wrong, but it stands for International Artificial Grow Light Association. I think I've got that right.
And also, if to any of the listeners, if you think you know everything there is to know about lighting, unfortunately you're so wrong.
You're on the first slope of the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Yeah, and it's going down very fast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
you're about quickly. To go into a whole...
I've just found out that I absolutely know nothing about lighting. Yeah.
I'm pretty similar to you, but when we're comparing ourselves to people like Theo, it's just an uphill Everest.
Yeah, he's absolutely a hive of information, to say the least.
Unfortunately, not going to be at Barcelona this year.
No.
But we will be getting them on the podcast for part 3 of lighting technicalities. Ooh. So prepare yourselves.
Yeah, you need to.
Right, we're near the end now. Stick with us. Wake up. We're going to do nutrients versus... Now, I've written one line here because Thomas wanted me to add it in because it's a very good example of where imitation absolutely kicks ass. But also we've kept it short because I'm not even going to try and start figuring out who was the first nutrient company and who was the first in the UK and who did the sugar boost.
I think that'd be very difficult to do.
Very difficult.
Many arguments and everyone would be looking to kill us.
Yeah, I think so. But I'm going to let you take it away with this one because this was your idea to add this in, and a very good one at that.
So we have Advanced Nutrients 918.
Yeah, we did have.
Yeah, we did have, and then we got Buddha's Tree 918.
Yeah.
Very successful product.
Yeah. So Advanced Nutrients with the Innovator.
Yeah.
Buddha's Tree with the Imitator.
Yeah.
But who wins?
Buddha's Tree.
Absolutely, 100% hands down. Buddha's Tree 918 all the way.
Yeah, Buddha's Tree. There was a little poll as well, and they haven't got the biggest range of everything. They haven't got 1,000,001 bottles. They've only got a few, but the few bottles they've got are very good.
Yeah, very, very good.
To be honest, I'm not going to harp on about it.
No.
If you don't know what Buddha's Tree is,
go and get yourself a bottle of flour based.
Yeah.
Put it in for the first couple of weeks, and make your own decision.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And then start using the other things in the range. Flour based is just, in my opinion, did we say a couple of weeks ago, one of the best products in the industry at the moment?
Yeah, one of the new innovative products, isn't it, as well?
Absolutely innovative. Yeah. Good shout out to that innovative product. But yeah, the Advanced Newts, so I've been told, wasn't controlled properly. So
I've
it's still a 918.
To be honest, in all fairness,
it was still a 918 ratio. The guys at Buddha's Tree actually used that product and we're very happy with it. But I absolutely believe that the Buddha's Tree 918 is now advanced on what the Advanced Nutrients guys have done and made an even better product. So it's another point there to the imitators. Others, we've talked for long enough now, we've bored you for long enough, but there are hundreds of others, too many spring up today, and that's why we're going to be doing innovation versus imitation sequels, won't we?
Yeah.
There are absolutely too many to bring up today. I think we've covered.
So if anybody wants to come on to the sequel, and tear the back out of your competitor. If you've been imitated and you want to have a word on podcast, feel free to contact us.
Yeah,
That's
get
what
in touch, and we can have a good chat.
Yeah,
in the NPK
let
studio.
your voice be heard.
Final word. Right, I've written down something here because I wanted to get this across very succinctly. What we have said today is not the final word. At the end of the day, our podcast was mostly opinions backed up by facts and figures. If you feel hard done to or outright offended, get in touch and set us straight. We are absolutely on the other end of a phone to be told off, and we can rectify the situation if you present with your argument facts and figures to back yourself up. We are not professing all the talked about features as facts, merely what we currently know to be true, and we can always give you opinions at the beginning of next week's show if you get in touch. A lot of people were given the opportunity to get their say for the 10 days prior to this podcast while we were doing our researching. So if you didn't get in touch to help us with research, you haven't really got much of a leg to stand on.
Yeah, so it's tough titty. So if you're one of the people who we contacted and you didn't bother phoning us back, don't even think about phoning me to bitch, because I'll just tell you to go leg it straight away and laugh at you down the phone because you'd had your chance. So, and you never phoned us back, so sound. That's how it is.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. If you would like to phone us up with some constructive criticism and maybe give your opinions for the second episode, please feel free to do so.
0151 228 8306. That's our shop number. What I also want to do at the end of these podcasts is tell people to subscribe. We've got hundreds and hundreds of thousands of downloads, but people don't subscribe. And all the subscription does is tells you when we've done a new podcast. If you don't want to subscribe, it's on every Sunday at 12 o'clock. That's when you can tune into the new podcast. But if you want to see what we're up to when we're not podcasting, follow us on Twitter, NPK Hydroponics, Facebook, NPK Technology, and Instagram, NPK Technology. Follow and subscribe.
Big thank you to all our listeners, and that's it for myself, Thomas.
Myself, Stephen. Have a very happy Valentine's Day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.